Bonjour, mes amis! Hey, what up, everyone? It's your travel girl back again, ready to trade in my usual routine for a taste of the good life, French style. And after what felt like a million hours in transit, I finally made it, living my dream vacation in the south of France. Picture this: sunshine, stunning views, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of magic. To prepare, I packed my comfiest pants, because let's be real, comfort is key when you're planning on eating your way through an entire country. I also grabbed my barely used passport, which is now getting a serious workout, and my 3-word French vocabulary. Bonjour, merci, and, well, that's about it. Wish me luck. Get ready for jaw-dropping coastlines that look like they're straight out of a postcard, food that'll make you swoon and question every dietary choice you've ever made, and me, probably tripping over cobblestones while trying to look chic. It's a skill, really. This isn't just a travel vlog, it's an adventure. A slightly chaotic, definitely unscripted adventure. Expect oohs, ahs, uh-ohs, and a few questionable fashion choices. Hey, at least I'm committed. So grab your snacks, preferably something French and maybe a beret, because when in France, right? And tag along as I eat, probably way too much, explore every hidden corner and charming village, and embarrass myself across the French Riviera. It's all part of the experience. Let's go! Join me as I try to take over the south of France, my attempt to conquer croissants and culture. France, you have no idea what's coming. Get ready for a whirlwind of questionable decisions and unforgettable moments. Touchdown in Nice, the first stop on this whirlwind adventure. Stepping off the plane, I could already feel the Mediterranean air, a welcome change from, well, let's just say my usual routine. Suitcase in tow, a sense of excitement bubbled up. This was it. France. Here I come. The air smelled like sunshine and expensive sunscreen, a combination I could definitely get used to. Palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the sky was that perfect shade of azure that you only see in postcards. I took a deep breath, trying to capture the moment, the feeling of being somewhere completely new and utterly captivating. And I was ready to embrace the culture, awkward French and all. I'd practiced a few phrases, but let's be honest, my pronunciation was probably atrocious. Still, I was determined to try, to immerse myself in the language and the customs, even if it meant a few confused looks and a lot of pointing. Fun fact, it's pronounced Nice, not nice. A crucial detail I learned embarrassingly late. I'd been confidently telling everyone I was going to Nice, only to be met with polite, slightly confused smiles. My brain immediately pictured a family reunion, a chaotic gathering of relatives I'd never met, all speaking rapid-fire French. The thought was both terrifying and strangely appealing, but no Aunt Carol in sight, just a lot of chic French people. Everyone looked effortlessly stylish, like they'd just stepped out of a fashion magazine. I, on the other hand, was sporting my travel-worn jeans and a slightly crumpled t-shirt. Time to up my game, I thought. I hit the Promenade des Anglais. The iconic walkway stretched along the coastline, bustling with people enjoying the sunshine. The Mediterranean sparkled. The pebbles hurt my feet. A small price to pay for such breathtaking views. The water was an unbelievable shade of turquoise, and the air was filled with the sound of waves crashing against the shore. And my hair flip selfie attempt, let's just say the wind won. It was a valiant effort, but the wind had other plans, whipping my hair into a frenzy and turning my selfie into a blurry mess. Oh well, at least it was funny. Old Town was a maze of color and charm. Narrow streets, lined with brightly painted buildings, led to hidden squares and charming cafes. I sampled soccer, chickpea pancake, a local specialty that was surprisingly delicious. The crispy edges and savory flavor were a perfect combination. And pissaladière, onion tart. My taste buds were living their best life. The caramelized onions, anchovies, and olives created a symphony of flavors that I won't soon forget. Ordering in French, mostly pointing and smiling. My attempts at speaking the language were met with varying degrees of success, but the universal language of gestures seemed to work just fine. Universal language, right? A smile and a friendly gesture can go a long way, especially when you're trying to order food in a foreign country. By sunset, I was sold. The sky exploded with color, painting the Mediterranean in hues of orange, pink, and purple. Nice is the kind of place that makes you want to buy a striped shirt and contemplate life by the sea. It has a certain je ne sais quoi, a charm that's hard to resist. No long-lost relatives, but a perfect start to my French adventure. Maybe the family reunion was just a figment of my imagination, but this trip was already exceeding my expectations. On to the next one, but Nice, you were truly nice. Au revoir, Nice. You've set the bar high for the rest of this adventure. Cannes, land of movie stars, red carpets, and yachts bigger than my apartment. I strolled the Boulevard de la Croisette, sunglasses on, ready to spot a celebrity. Spoiler, I saw 0 A-listers, but plenty of people who looked like they could be famous. The real stars? The Seagulls. These birds strutted around like they owned the place, eyeing my croissant with Oscar-worthy intensity. Tried to have a red carpet moment on the Palais steps, but a seagull photobombed me with a glare that said, "You're not the main character here. Cannes, you gave me drama. Just feathered, not famous." No selfies with celebs, but I did get judged by a bird. Iconic, honestly. Bonjour from Saint-Tropez. The name itself conjures images of sun-drenched beaches, azure waters, and a playground for the world's elite. It's a place where luxury isn't just a lifestyle, it's practically the air you breathe. Where everyone looks like a magazine cover, effortlessly chic and perpetually camera-ready. Seriously, I felt like I needed a personal stylist just to walk down the street. The fashion is next level, and the yachts are as extra as the price tags. These aren't just boats, they're floating mansions complete with helipads and enough staff to run a small country. Each one seems to be trying to outdo the other in terms of sheer opulence. So naturally I put on my fanciest sunglasses, the ones I usually reserve for hiding from paparazzi. Just kidding, mostly. And tried to blend in with the rich and famous, or at least give the impression that I belonged. It was a bit like being an extra in a movie about the ridiculously wealthy, mostly by window shopping, of course. My bank account and I had a very serious conversation beforehand about boundaries, and pretending I could afford a handbag. That costs more than my rent. I mean, seriously, who needs a handbag that expensive? Okay, I secretly do, but I'll never admit it. Next stop, Pampelonne Beach. It was all plush daybeds and champagne flowing like water. The music was pumping, the sun was shining, and everyone looked like they'd just stepped out of a swimwear ad. I, meanwhile, was dodging sand in my shoes, which, by the way, is a lot harder than it looks when you're trying to maintain an air of sophistication, and hoping a talent scout would discover me. You know, whisk me away to a life of yachts and movie premieres. A dog just stared. Clearly, my acting skills need some work. Lunch was a salad and rose. At a cafe, the kind where the chairs are perfectly arranged, and the waiters look like they moonlight as runway models, where I could people watch the fabulous. It's like a live-action fashion show, and the people are the exhibits. A seagull tried to steal my bread. Relatable. We both have expensive taste on a budget. Pretending to be rich is exhausting, I tell you. All that posing and trying to look nonchalant while secretly calculating how much everything costs. It's a workout. But Saint-Tropez, you were dazzling and fun, even if I was just playing a part. I didn't fit in with the billionaires, not even a little bit. My humble sandals were no match for their designer loafers. But I nailed wide-eyed tourist. I think I perfected the art of looking amazed by everything, even the price of bottled water. For one day, I got to play dress-up in the world's most glamorous playground. And honestly, that's a memory I'll cherish, even if my bank account needs a little therapy afterward. Marseille, grittier, realer, and full of energy. I headed straight for the old port, then promptly got lost in its maze of boats and alleys. Just as I was about to give up, a magical aroma led me to a tiny restaurant serving bouillabaisse. I ordered with hopeful French and a lot of pointing. When the bowl arrived, it was pure seafood heaven, rich, golden, and packed with flavor. Getting lost led me to the best meal of my trip. Sometimes the best adventures and soups happen when you have no idea where you're going. Avignon, home of the famous bridge from the song, except it only goes halfway across the river now. I paid my fee, climbed up, and took in the stunning views of the Rhône and the Papal Palace. Time to dance! I twirled, I stumbled and nearly got blown into the river by the wind. My moves were more confused giraffe than elegant, but I did it danced on the Pont d'Avignon. Sometimes you just have to be silly in a famous place. Avignon, you were a historical marvel and the perfect stage for my questionable choreography. Aix-en-Provence, beautiful, elegant, and impossible to pronounce. I tried every version, but locals still corrected me with a smile. The city of 1,000 fountains lived up to its name. I wandered the Cour Mirabeau, admired the architecture, and ate way too many calissons. Every attempt to say Aix was a new opportunity for embarrassment, but the city's charm made up for it. I may never pronounce it right, but Aix, you were unforgettable. Antibes, home to Port Vauban and yachts bigger than my dreams. I wandered the marina, jaw on the floor, imagining what it'd be like to own one of these floating palaces. My inner Instagrammer took over. I posed, I angled, I pretended to be a billionaire, for the camera at least. The reality? My yacht was a public railing and my ice cream was melting. Antibes, you were a wild ride of luxury, art and fantasy. No yacht for me, but plenty of memories and photos. Cassis. I arrived expecting blackcurrant everything. Jam, pastries, maybe a giant berry statue. Reality, not a single currant in sight. Instead, Cassis wowed me with its colourful harbour and the jaw-dropping calonkes, those dramatic white cliffs and turquoise inlets. We took a boat trip, and the scenery was so stunning I forgot about my jam quest. Almost. Cassis, you tricked me, but your natural beauty was the sweetest surprise. Grasse, the perfume capital. I imagined wafting through flower fields, but my nose was about to be overwhelmed. Touring a perfumery, I learned about scent making and tried to identify notes. Turns out I'm no nose. By the end, I'd spritzed so many testers I smelled like a walking potpourri. Grasse, you were fascinating and fragrant, maybe a little too fragrant. I'll be smelling like a flower shop for days. Next stop, Menton, the lemon capital. Lemons everywhere. Tarts, gelato, limoncello, you name it. I ate so much lemon I joked I might turn yellow, but a chic French mignon. The town was pure sunshine, pastel buildings, sea views and citrus in every shop. Menton, you were the zestiest, most refreshing finale. I left with a suitcase full of lemon souvenirs and a new appreciation for all things citrus. I have included some fantastic travel-related links in the description below. I hope you have time to check them out. And that's a wrap on my south of France adventure. From Nice to Menton, I ate, stumbled and laughed my way through the Riviera. My French is still terrible, but my camera roll and stomach are full of memories. I learned that the best adventures happen when you get a little lost and just go with it. If you enjoyed this trip, hit subscribe and stick around for more questionable decisions and good times. Thanks for watching, unicorns. Stay awesome, stay adventurous and maybe try a Bouillabaisse.